climate change.
So, climate change.
So I was talking about the pollution, and then suddenly I started coughing. So
it's one of those things that it fills me with some sort of dread. So sometimes I'm just like, I have to stop thinking about it. I know it's happening and I think about it a lot, but I'm also like, what can I do,
Climate change, it always happens, but when we're talking about climate change today, we're talking about how I think it's been exacerbated. So there are human factors and human causes that are leading to accelerated climate changes that we've never seen before.
I think that the climate change is the effects of humanity's decisions to create inventions without thinking about the end point.
The world is going through some changes that we're not familiar with, but it's one of the things that really scares me because I don't know.
It's a crisis right now because temperatures are getting so high with increasing floods and all of the disasters that we're seeing around here. There are a lot of young people who are desperately concerned because they don't know if there's going to be a future to raise their families in.
A lot of the last 10 years of my life have been waking up to a lot of really awful things that people like me have done, and so climate change is kind of part of that in my personal journey.
maybe because of the fact that I spent 12 years of my life on the sea, I am really, really concerned about the pollution of the sea and the growing circles of plastic. I cringe at these single-use K-cups and the single-use yogurt.
My generation sort of feels this hopelessness and just burnout because there's just so much going on in our world all of the time. It's like I can't add climate change into that pile of things that I'm immediately so worried about.
Discussing climate change is a privilege. The fact that I'm gonna starve tonight, it is tonight. Now you want to tell them that, compost?
If you have two jobs, where are you going to find the time to be in nature, to enjoy what you have? And you're not necessarily going to be able to consider about reducing your trips in the car, maximizing your efficiency and reducing your footprint, because it's just a daily struggle just getting by.
I had my first discovery of climate change on the first Earth Day about 53 years ago. As a young 30-something, I was intrigued. I went to the presentation by Dr. Baker, and there were about 50 students there that were so motivated. They went heading out the door to a motel that was right on the ocean. The motel put all of its garbage out every week on the beach for the ocean to take away. The students bagged that garbage and then did something that just was untenable for the guy running the motel. They brought it into the lobby and they said they weren't going to move until he did something about this. Well, you didn't stand up to authority back then, but these young people did. And he caved in to the end of the day, signed up for a garbage service, and it changed their lives. It certainly changed mine.
I definitely think there is hope. I think it takes both taking individual responsibility on ourselves to do what we personally can, but I think for the most part it takes putting pressure on these huge corporations that are taking advantage of our planet in very unsustainable ways, but we have to get to the point where we can talk about those things in order to act on them.
I don't think things are ever going to go back the way they were before, but we can control the fires.
I'd say we're a generation that does care. We've seen a lot of damage and destruction from many boomers of take. I'm a little concerned about the future generations. I'm worried that younger generations are going to give up?
I think we've got 5 to 10 years to take radical steps to turn climate change around, and I believe it's still doable. We were in better shape on that first Earth Day 50 years ago if we'd started then.
When we hear stories of how climate change affects other human beings, we are more likely to empathize and connect with them. I just don't know that we have the stomach for making the changes that need to occur.
I'm not worried about the planet. The planet is not screwed. There's resiliency there that has the ability to outlive us as a human race. We'll have to change, we'll have to adapt, and our resiliency will have to come out. We won't change until we've suffered enough, right? And so how much suffering are we willing to go through to get to change?
Well, I think we can all make a difference. And I would say start small. Look at what is one small change that you can make. Cutting down on our use of plastic. Educate yourself. What are the main things that are causing climate problems in the area in which you live? You know, and is there something you can do about it? And so that all of us can increase the impact that we can have on affecting the climate and reducing the impact of climate change.
I think my personal fight helps me sleep a little better at night. But as far as am I contributing, am I making a change compared to the large scale? No. I worked a seasonal job in the parks and the amount of garbage and litter was astounding. So you don't see it played out recycling on a large level in a lot of places. But the more you teach others and the more you try to explain to others and hope that they have the same passion that you do, you can always hope and try to keep improving.
This spinning ball is our home. Just like the house you live in, it needs work to maintain. Just like your house, small things you do regularly keep it a clean, safe, and comfortable place to live. Participating in the conversation about climate change can be one of the small things you can do to help take care of our home. Like Laura said,
We have to get to the point where we can talk about those things in order to act on them.
what can you do to add to the conversation? Comment below. In the coming months, we will be exploring climate change in the context of human rights, faith, and generational perspectives. Please subscribe to this channel so you can get notified when the next in this series comes out.